Welcome to the PACT pod. We've got our November edition. We're in season 1. This is episode 5. A lot of great stuff in store. What do you think? My name is Eric Verno. I'm a South Central Regional Director for PACT, and with me, we've got Dom Salvucci.
Southwest Regional Director. This is going to be a great pod. I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to it since we found out who the guests were going to be.
I know we dreamed it up. We thought, maybe this will happen, and the connections were made, and people were willing to hang out with us, man. It's awesome. So who do we have? We're gonna have what are we gonna be talking about today, Dom?
Well, we're not just gonna be talking about GooseChase, which is currently going on. You get the details at pact.org. But we have people from GooseChase. They'll be joining us here shortly. They're in the green room that currently doesn't have M&Ms. We have to work on that.
Yeah, hopefully they're gonna be all right though. I mean, they may have been promised M&Ms and some Fuji waters. I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully we'll bring them on. They'll be kind to us. But yeah, GooseChase EDU. Follow it on Twitter. I know Thankful for Technology is the PACT GooseChase. I think we're up there, 70, 80 people that are attempting to take the crown. Let's go ahead and let's kick off some awesome conversation with one of PACT's favorite apps, favorite activities we love to do multiple times a year. Let's kick off some GooseChase talk. But you know what? We may have some people that aren't too sure about GooseChase. They're joining in. They're catching us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it may be. Let's do a little intro video to GooseChase. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
I'm Andrew Cross, founder and CEO of GooseChase, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the GooseChase platform, the need it solves, as well as who it's for. So the GooseChase platform is the ultimate and extremely fun tool for engaging student experiences. And these experiences are inspired by the scavenger hunt that we all know and love. And the question that we're always answering is, how do we help teachers get students up and out of their seats and interacting and experiencing the content in a more enjoyable way? And when we're able to do that, we're actually able to help improve retention, increase overall student performance, and honestly just make it a more fun situation for every student that's involved. Since we launched the GooseChase EDU platform in 2017, over 10,000 educators have signed on to the platform, running over 175,000 games. So how are these educators using our product? The most obvious way is teaching interactive lessons. When you're able to get students up and out of their seats, the content is more engaging and interactive, which increases overall performance. But beyond this normal classroom performance, we're able to use it for learning offsite as well, for field trips, outdoor education, even virtual classrooms. But moving beyond the classroom, it's actually just as valuable for things like professional development days. That's right, the same tool in the classroom can be used for the entire school staff. By creating incredible PD days, it helps staff members connect with colleagues, set personal goals, and also become familiar with the school environment. And you can actually take it one step further with extracurricular events. School-wide spirit days, getting students involved in fundraisers, a local cause, getting parents involved in interactive open houses. One platform can do all of this, and it's because of how flexible it is and how it all works. So our games can be customized with different types of missions. So we can have text missions like Q&A, you can have photo and video interactivity, you can have GPS. And what this does is it allows the same platform to be applied in so many different ways. If you want to create your entire game from scratch, you can do that. If you want to piggyback off some of our tried and true game templates that you're able to borrow, you can do that as well. So you can ask questions like, name a chemical that dissolves chlorophyll. You can have your students dress up as their favorite book character from a unit that's currently being worked on. This allows you to unleash your creativity. Once you've created the game, you can invite your students or staff to play. And so everybody would join the application, and away you go. One of the cooler components is the ability to then reuse your games for other classes or even share your templates with other educators. So, what's next? Well, by the time you run the game, you're actually able to use our reports and analytics tools to actually get tangible insights into the learning or engagement that's happening with your students and staff. Games can easily be edited, reused, shared, everything that you want to do from there. So, where do we go from here? Well, let's cut to the chase and let's bring learning to life. Head to goosechase.com/edu and you can easy peasy start it up, and away we go. Thank you.
Have Ali Shankara and
Hello.
we have Shara Khan. All right. Welcome. How are we doing this evening?
Oh, fantastic.
Great. Super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Nope.
I honestly really happy that you guys invited us on. Thanks for having us.
True honor for us. Now, we were doing some banter about our weather. You're not in Pennsylvania. You hail from Canada. So whereabouts and what's the weather like up in your region, your area?
Oh, well, I actually live near the lake in Toronto, so it is starting to get pretty cold. But I love it. I'm really into nature. So nice little scenic walks. And we actually get, funny enough, the lake has a lot of geese there. So I'm always sending the company, like, oh guys, look, pictures on the lake.
I'm in Toronto as well, and I have to say I am not a snowbird whatsoever. And we've been a remote company 10 years, and I've always said, and Andrew's our CEO, who everybody just saw, has been traveling the entire 10 years. You know, he's gone to Nicaragua and Peru and Ecuador and all these hot places. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm leaving. Every year I'm leaving. And I haven't left one year. I just stayed and endured. So it's not warm. It's not warm. It's upsetting.
One of these days you'll get a chance to. One of these days.
Hopefully.
I can empathize with the warmth. I'm a warm weather person anymore.
Oh, you're not anymore. You're all used to it. I haven't been in the state too long.
I've lived here all my life in Western PA, but I trend towards the warm weather in my old age.
I feel like PA would be very similar to Canada's weather, though.
Yeah, we get all 4 seasons and the different weather. Love it. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to exist where they don't have the 4 seasons. It's just ingrained in me. So, all right. So great weather talk. Awesome to learn more about what people think. So let's dive into some questions specifically. Let's get into more about you, more about GooseChase. Let's kick it off, Dom.
So, what positions do you guys hold with GooseChase, and how long have you been with GooseChase?
Yeah, so my name is Shara. I'm one of the account executives at GooseChase. I started exactly 1 year ago. I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary, and I've been loving every moment. I specialize in K-12 customers, so I work with a lot of schools and districts setting up their license and helping them utilize it to the best abilities.
Congratulations on your anniversary.
Yeah. I was going to say, did I wish you happy anniversary? I was waiting for this podcast. Happy anniversary.
Great timing. That guy's nailed it. There it is.
So you guys mentioned it. My name is Ali Shankara. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at GooseChase. I'm responsible for sales, marketing, customer experience, part of operations. I've actually been with the company almost since its inception. It was founded at the University of Waterloo by Andrew, who you guys just saw again. And after about 6 months, I guess Andrew realized that sales really wasn't his bag, and we were roommates, and asked me if I would be interested in joining. And the rest is romance. It's a romantic history. Last 10 years.
That's awesome. Super cool. But one thing I think, Dom, we need to mark this down. So Shar is going to expect to be on the podcast every anniversary of her working life. So I think we got it locked in for next November. We'll just have to send her the date. We'll work on that. All right.
We can make that work.
Yeah. My calendar's open. I'm good. All right. So, talking about, again, PACT, we love it. We utilize it in a lot of fashions in our regions throughout across the states. We try to pull it into different conferences we have. But from your side, we've noticed a change in our use of it, kind of giving people a break from life, doing different things. How have you seen your business / your app, your usage in the last 2 years with everything going on? How have you seen it change with different, just different sides of it?
I think it's a great question. I'll take that one to start, Shara, if that's okay. It's a great question because I think that as a remote company, we always saw the possibilities of what GooseChase could be, but I think we've always tried to listen to what our teachers and our districts and our schools were telling us and how they use the product. And it was primarily physical, in classroom, activating students, creating opportunities for them to engage with the subject matter in more physical ways or in ways that challenge the creativity of their minds, whether that be in the classroom or on field trips or for staff with PD days, etc. Over COVID, the explosion we saw was what we actually expected: virtual engagement as a way to create an opportunity for people to feel connected even though they were physically separated. That's probably one of my favorite things. One of my customers once told me that when they wake up in the morning, instead of opening Instagram, they open GooseChase because of the
Hmm.
positive physical connection they can feel to their community. And I think that was the major change that we saw for schools, districts, classrooms, even parents trying to create opportunities, PTAs trying to create opportunities for their kids to not only stay engaged with other students and friends, but to provide a learning environment that actually created physical connection in a virtual way. So that was the biggest change that I personally think we saw. I don't know, Shara, if you would add anything to that.
I mean, when I was on a call with one of the teachers, one of them actually told me, "I don't give my kids homework. I give them goose work." And it was really interesting to
I like
see
that.
how they kind of pivoted the whole in classroom experience and turned it virtual to make it more engaging
Hmm.
for them.
That's neat.
That's awesome. I'm gonna steal that one. Let me write that one.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that I'll just add to that is how education facilities, museums, um, areas that you typically would take kids on physical field trips, started to use GooseChase as a way to create opportunities for them to learn the curriculum that would take place in physical locations virtually. I thought that was a really neat extension that they came up with as a commitment to education. And I was really proud to see people kind of surround kids with that ability to say like, hey, we really need to keep pushing and really need to make sure that kids stay engaged. And that was a pretty nice moment of people coming together.
That's good. And that kind of dovetails with what I was going to ask you next was, um, some stories how people are using this in education and some positive ideas that you've heard. 'Cause I know we've used it. We've shared some ideas and we've shared with our members, but coming from you guys, what have you heard from other educators and how they're using the app and some other stories like the two you've told us?
I mean, Al, I'm happy to kind of jump in on
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, you're
I
the most.
I love hearing the stories on how schools utilize the platform because they've really it's insane how they've just taken the concept and just flipped the script on everybody. A lot of schools, especially not being able to do their fundraising initiatives and generate some extra revenue for schools, I've seen them really take the platform and change the dynamic a little by taking a twist on events that they would normally host in person. One great example that I'll never forget is we had a PTA committee who decided to host a virtual father-daughter dance. And it was the cutest thing ever. There were little missions like, hey, take a picture with that you and daddy shoes, post a video of you singing a duet. And they just created all this amazing content. And from there, it really expanded and they adapted the idea to hosting homecoming and prom, especially with this new world that we live in and there's all these little restrictions. And then what's even super cool is that not only are they running their events, but they're generating all this amazing content that their yearbook committee is now taking and using to create a yearbook out of it.
That's fantastic.
I would kind of just. I'd also like to hear Dom and Eric. How have you guys? I mean, you guys have been with us 5 years, right? Since the beginning of the conception of our EDU program. How have you guys seen the change in your use of GooseChase within your organization over the last 2 years?
I would say just the amount of usage has increased exponentially. And from a personal standpoint, I started using this in my classroom during the pandemic. You guys had rolled out the ability for us to grab hold of it. And I worked virtually with my students. And last year, I got a license for my classroom and worked it through my student with my students. And I'm going to let Eric talk, and then I have a question for you guys too, because I know from my past experience, I just wanted to let other people know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say um, one way that it's been really awesome. First of all, when you put this in the hand of adults, adult learners who we work with PACT, they get pretty competitive. So it's pretty awesome to see that. You see, like she was kind of quiet a little bit ago, and now she's after 800 points, and like she's kind of going for it. So it's awesome to see teachers get out of their comfort zones. But I think what's been an awesome use we've tried to do is, we've been separate, but trying to stay together through using Goose Chase for some different activities. As the shutdown of our state, different things that went on 2 years ago, trying to pull the Goose Chase in. So we're pulling things from our homes, because we're not in our classrooms. Trying to still be active doing this activity where we're still connected. So that's been neat to do that. I know beginning of the school year, talking with our guidance staff, trying to push them to use it for tours of our school, but the kids couldn't come in, so used it Goose Chase style. So doing some different things like that, and even now with some of the limits we have in the rooms, some teachers, trying to use and they're even able to use the free version that's out there to be able to get their feet wet, to be introduced to it, to do some different activities. So it's been really neat because the kids now can't necessarily go running all around the school building, but through Goose Chase, they can still experience some different parts and do some different activities as part of the classroom. So it's been kind of cool like that. I know prior to one of the coolest events that we did in our region is we have an agricultural museum in our area, and so my regional board, we went in and we kind of canvassed the museum, and we kind of created the Goose Chase. And then when we came together as a group, I think there's about 45, 50 of us, and we played the Goose Chase. But then the cool thing, when we left, we showed the people that were running it how to access and do different things. So you kind of like, we created it and like left it that they would be able to kind of pick it up and pull from it. And then they called us a couple times to kind of go over a couple items and stuff. So that's the cool thing too. When we PACT gets into some different locations, we're able to show that and share that history through it. Because York, Pennsylvania, where I'm at, has a lot of great history. Um, so we're able to create the items and then show others how to use it that may not be connected with education, but this could be an awesome tool. I think teachers are always good at trying to show people not in the classroom how to use some tools to their advantage. So that was pretty cool prior. So
That's neat.
currently, we have the Thankful for Technology. Our out of state members are running. So again, we're not. And think of out of state; they're not all able to drive to a location in PA. We've got New York, North Carolina, Virginia. They're all actively help to create the Goose Chase, and they're helping to run it. So it's perfect for that scenario where we're able to pull 3,000 members across between PA and other states and other countries. Um, that they're able to actually take part in the Goose Chase. So it's been awesome in that facet. So, and I do remember a few years ago when ISTE was in Philadelphia, we were able to have some interesting, people running around with. We get to the Rocky Balboa statue, get to the hoagie, or get to the hoagie place, get to the steak shop. So we had people canvassing the city. So it was awesome. ISTE loved it,
Awesome.
and we loved doing it. So it was awesome.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
The one other question I had, I know whenever I used it with the classroom version, I could search other Goose Chases. So if you weren't really familiar with how to set it up, you can go search other Goose Chases and pull them in and adapt them for your use. Is that available for all members, or is that um, only for certain levels of users, or how does that work for people that aren't really familiar with Goose Chase and maybe a little bit intimidated to get
I
started?
mean, there are a few options available. So if there is a game running in your area that's allowing members to join, you can always join a game and check it out how they executed. One of the cool things specifically for our educators is that you do have access to a EDU library. And what's really cool about the EDU library is that it is designed by real teachers who gave us permission to share this with others. So, it's not just us randomly making games thinking, I think teachers will like this. No, there is actually made by real teachers. There is method to their games, and they range from a whole variety for like math activities, holiday events,
Yeah.
even little games you can run during the summertime to promote health and wellness, or even a reading list. And even with the in-classroom activities, I know some teachers get a little nervous saying, "Oh, it's a mobile device," but not all our kids have access. We don't have iPads for all the kids, or we're a Chromebook school. Do you guys work on Chromebooks? The answer is yes, we are Chromebook compatible, so you do have that option to use it in your classroom as well.
That's great. Thank you for that information, because that's actually how I started with my classroom. Was I grabbed a couple of the EDU versions made a copy, adapted a few questions until I got used to making my own, got comfortable making my own. But that was a nice way to kind of start out with training wheels.
Yeah, and I'll chime in there to say that I think across the board, all of our customers have that, you know, maybe not self-admitted fear that they're not creative enough to come up with their own mission. So they like to have that crutch to start from. But I will say 100%, 10 out of 10 times, everybody, once they start creating missions, just explodes. They just have idea after idea after idea. And it's really fun to see them get to that level of just having fun with it because they know what the joy is on the other end for their students or their staff. So it's a really nice dual reward system.
Yeah, it's a really cool work perk. I've had teachers say that, oh, not only do I use this with my students, but I use it after hours too. My son is getting married and we're having a little wedding scavenger hunt. So it's cool to see that, they're not only thinking inside the classroom, but they're taking it outside too, just enjoying their little Goose Chase perk on the school-wide licenses.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, there's so many ways, and the kids get excited. They like, oh, Mr. Verno, I have some ideas for some questions. Mr. Salvucci, and you're like, okay, let's create a quick Google form, submit questions to me. We can
Nice.
put it in there, and really that takes it to that higher level where if they're creating it, and even a review game, different things like that. Like that's the awesome aspect. So I know Dom hit you with a question that wasn't pre-prepped, so I'm gonna throw it out there. And you have the 100% authority to just go mum on the thing. Would there be anything coming down the road that might be exciting for teachers, like down on the horizon that's not too top secret confidential that we won't get anybody in trouble? But any thoughts there? I know. Hit him with Devin.
I'm kind of wondering who's listening from our team. I full transparency have gotten in trouble in the past because I get so excited about the possibilities of the technology. And so it's hard to say. I can tell you that we are working on a number of different things. I mean, one of our core principles since it started was to listen to what our customers are saying. We've never developed a feature without a customer actually asking for it first, which is seems to be a rare thing in technology these days. So whatever we are building, I can tell you it is something that teachers are going to be able to use and get excited about. As for what it is, I kind of keep it secret until it releases. Yeah, I hold the suspense. I hope everybody on the edge of their seats.
Can we have you come back here and make the announcement on PAECT pod?
Ooh, is Katie listening? Katie, can we do that? Can we commit to that? We'll have to. That's a great question.
That'd be awesome.
I'll have to get
when
back
you're
to
ready to do it, we'll roll live. It doesn't even have to be on a regular time. We promise. Hey, well, so dovetailing with that, great. Great. I do love how with social media, with some companies with the presence, yours obviously very strong. How could people reach out? What are the specific channels? Like, would we want to make sure we get a hold of Shara directly? What would be the avenues they can go? As far as I got an idea for this feature. I got an idea for this feature. What would you recommend?
Yeah, sure. I can take that one. I think one, you can always reach out via our website. We have a form there. Make sure to go to the GooseChase EDU website, goosechase.com/edu. You can let us know on Twitter, GooseChase EDU. You can, I think those probably would be the best because those all come directly to us anyways. We're a small but mighty flock of geese in our nest. So all of us do have access to those different feature requests. We all like to review them together. So I would say the website, Twitter. If you're on Pinterest, I found out yesterday that we're now on Pinterest, which I'm super excited about because I love Pinterest. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. So if you're on Pinterest and you want to throw something up there, a pin, that's cool too. Wherever you are, we want to be. So yeah, any way that you feel comfortable reaching out to us, please do.
Thank you for that information.
That's awesome. And then it's at GooseChase. I know there's two different GooseChase handles. One's just at GooseChase, and one's at GooseChase EDU, correct?
Yeah. GooseChase EDU is the K-12 educator specific focus, where actually we have a teacher on staff who is responsible for commenting and working directly with all of our K-12 educators. So working with somebody who understands what you guys go through every day, which I think is awesome because I have learned so much from Rebecca about how hard teachers work and some of the restrictions that you guys just find creative ways to get around to make sure your students get the best possible education and access. So yeah, reach out to Rebecca directly via our Twitter, and she's the best person to kind of distill that information and help us understand it as well.
All right, that is awesome. So while we're talking about it, we have our Goose Chase on our PACT website. Um, you can go to the PACT.org, go into events calendar, and you can go ahead and sign up now because you got to get the code and the secret password to be able to get in. And if you happen to be playing the Goose Chase currently, there is a 1,000 point bomb that the PACT pod is about ready to unload. But we have somebody special who's been practicing the podcast voice, doing a great job, getting ready for this week. So go ahead without further ado. All right, she's getting ready. All right, okay, okay, clear, get ready to go. The pipe's good.
PAECT, we are the voice of EdTech in PA.
Woohoo! All right, there it
Excellent.
is, the 1,000 point bomb. That's it. All right, we won't say it again the rest of the show. They had to have been listening there. All right,
Shar
we-
will be doing voiceovers for us. Because
Yeah, I was gonna say if we release a PACT Goose Chase movie or a trilogy, Shara might be our trailer voiceover. If we can agree to that.
definitely.
I am going to start designing my voice resume right now and start submitting that voice acting resume.
we need to talk to the board, Dom. I think we need to get a lawyer on retainer for a lot of things going on. Some contracts need to be written up right
Yes.
now. We've got possible first reveal of major new feature in Goose Chase, possibly locking Shar in for a yearly
Trilogy.
contract.
Peter
and the
Jackson, I heard,
trilogy,
was
the voice,
directing it.
yeah.
Yeah, and
We-
PAECT will get all the royalties, of course, right? You guys discovered me.
We're a nonprofit. We'll share. It's all good. And then there's got to be some kind of bearded somebody. Could be a villain. I'll play something in the trilogy. Who knows? Who knows what it'll be? We'll figure that out. All right. Dom's working on it. We'll get you there. So that is awesome. Now, not only is there a 1,000 point bomb, right? It's exploded. It's out there. People are just feverishly typing. There's also something special that you all wanted to bring to our PACT members, to our active Goose Chase participants. What would that be?
Yeah, so I am really excited to say that we are giving away one Educator Premium license to a PACT member who is participating in the Goose Chase and listening live to you right now. The Educator Premium license is our top tier for individual teachers. It's valued at $199. It is a full year subscription that allows you to use it with up to 200 students in your classrooms. So really excited that we're able to provide this. We see a ton of teachers using this and getting a ton of value. And yeah, that's
That is awesome. So, I'm going to act like I'm real smart and read off the screen here real quick. So, the Educator Premium, $199 for the year, up to 40 teams in team mode, up to 200 players in individual mode, unlimited live games, and I can just stop there. There's the library we talked about with pre-built missions. I mean, Dom, did we check if we're eligible? Did we check? Like, I'm in the game now. Like, I got in.
I just got 22nd.
All right, we got to talk to Laura about that. We'll see.
and you guys are announcing at the end of the podcast, right?
Yeah, we will at the end of the podcast. Because again, they still have to be sticking around and dealing with Dom and I to win. So we'll put them through the ringer.
It's a pleasure. You guys are better than Bateman and Arnett and their podcast. You guys are killing it.
All right, checks in the mail. All right, we got
back more often.
Currency transit. We got to work on the currency translation though. We got to figure that one out. I mean, truly awesome. Now, I know you did talk about Alishan. We talked ahead of time. We were doing some pre-show banter, and you alluded to it a little bit with how long the company's been around. I believe you said 10 years, and right around, I guess you described like the ambassador program. That's kind of when PACT came on. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, I think one of the things that we, as an early stage company, there was only a couple of us struggled with, was teachers really started to catch on to Goose Chase out of what felt like out of nowhere. We got discovered, and then teachers it snowballed, and they were really teaching us a lot about the possibilities of how Goose Chase could be used in education. And around the 5-year mark, Phil joined us, Phil Everson, who our ambassador program is named after, and came from a family of teachers and just revolutionized the EDU program for us, worked directly with teachers, and PAECT was one of the first organizations to come on and really help us understand that. So I think ISTE in Philadelphia must have been 4 years ago or 5 years
Yeah.
ago at this point. So it would have been one of the first conferences we were at running around. And I remember Phil with the I think it was a duck hat, but we played it off like it was a goose hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really nice story that we continue to have this relationship and continue to build for teachers, because what they do for kids is we want to really be a part of that. So it's kind of a neat story for us to be here together tonight.
It is. It's awesome. It's truly an honor for us for geeking out. And as you were saying, I was like, wait a minute, I have something. I have to fight it for my daughters all the time. But got that. I was very proud. Phil gave that to me, the triangular highlighter. Like every so often when I come downstairs here to my corner office in the basement, I realize it's gone. I got to go comb my daughter's bedrooms to find out who snagged it. So very,
That's
very coveted. Oh,
I will tell you, there is a secret that I can share with you, is if you look on our new website, you won't see the feed anywhere anymore because we've moved to mascots. So we have, Reese Witherspoon and Goose Willis and Ryan Gosling, Robert Downey Jr. So the feet are all, that's going to be a collectible, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hold on to that.
All right. They will not be touching it. Is what we're going with. That's awesome. Oh, so cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. I truly, honestly, I've talked a lot, but I do want to say I'm speechless just having you on here. It doesn't really make sense in that sense of the word, but hey, it's just an honor to have you here. What do you think, Tom?
We appreciate it. I mean, we planned on talking about it. Then when we found out that you guys were actually going to come on and have you guys talk about it, that was hit out of the park on that one.
Hey, we're happy to do it. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. We really appreciate you guys' partnership and what you do to bring the platform to teachers and educate students. Thank you, really.
Yeah, well, again, we love the partnership. Want to keep it going. Anything, I'd love to partner up to do some other things other than releasing bombshell information in our
Yes.
trilogy. We got those listed. So, but yeah, no, I truly, truly appreciate you also. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what you're doing, and most importantly, thank you for listening to educators and delivering what they can use in the classroom, because that's really, especially this day and age, we really need a lot of that. So it really helps.
And the kids kids enjoy it, and that's something that keeps them interested and keeps them connected, especially through what we've been through the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's been nice to be able to keep the kids engaged. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I guess we'll sign off now. Thank you very much for having us
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll be in touch in the future. All right,
This was so much fun. Take care, guys.
Take
all
care.
right, see ya. My word, how awesome!
Oh, that was
Seriously,
great. I was not expecting that we were going to actually be able to talk to people from the company. I thought it would
Yeah.
just be, having some of us on and how we've used it and what's going on with this Goose Chase. But that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
it is, and you know what? I'm glad we didn't get anybody fired. It was
Yeah.
close. We were kind of pressing there, and I'm like, I will back off. But so cool. I listen. How awesome the platform is now. I can only imagine the cool things they got cooking.
I know.
I mean, we should have talked them to maybe you should record live in the secret room where all the platforms listed. I want to see the rollout. I want to see the whole yearly map. We're gonna work on that for next time. We're gonna pay them extra. We'll send them some PACT swag. We don't
Yeah.
have highlighters, but we could try sending something. What do you think?
We have stickers. We have magnets. We could send some
Yeah,
stuff.
we can send them some magnets. That'll work. All right, they travel well.
Yeah.
No, so awesome. Truly, honestly, it's so cool. I think a lot of us geek out in tech. We think, oh, working for an ed tech company, how awesome that is. Just that collaboration, the communication, makes it huge.